Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today's video is a little bit different. As per usual, we've got two players. We've got Like the Way You Move and Dead Like Me, really interesting names. And we've got two tanks. We've got the IS-3 and we've got the T32. But both replays are actually from the same game, so that's something I don't do a lot. These two players are platooned together, and these replays were actually submitted by Nuspiava, and Nuspiava has featured on the channel before, so I don't know if Nuspiava is actually one of the players involved, and I'm a little bit worried in case these guys didn't actually submit the replays and they were submitted on their behalf by a third party without their permission. I don't know, I don't do this very often, but I did watch the replays, I liked the games, and the reason I liked the games were because these are two very, very good tier 8 heavy tanks, but they're great tanks, or they're very, very strong tanks at top tier. Even in a tier 9 game they're okay, and in a tier 10 game they can do a job, but they're a little bit undermatched, and this is a tier 10 game. There are 4 tier 10s on either side, there are 3 tier 9s on either side, but there's absolutely no arty, and that makes the game a lot easier when you're in a heavy tank. But anyway, we're just going to go, and I'm going to be cutting and pasting from various bits and pieces. I'm not going to show you both replays back to back, but I will merge them when I think it's necessary. But yeah, IS-3, very, very strong tier 8 tank. T32, very strong tier 8 tank, although the T32 is a little bit lacking regarding penetration. Covered a T29 on the channel recently, mentioned it had the same gun as the T32. So one of the benefits of going up the American heavies is once you unlock the final gun on the T29, you can use it on the T32. It's not that painful a grind. But you can see that because there's no arty, these heavy tanks are able to move up into a very, very strong and usual position for heavy tanks. No arty, so they can sit here and they can poke, they can shoot, they're going hull down. We are here with Like the Way You Move in the IS-3. We're going to be spending most of the replay with Like the Way You Move because he's a little bit more active, and Dead Like Me spends a little bit more time sniping in the T32. But what I want you to notice here is even though they're tier 8s in a tier 10 game, they work together really, really well. What you're going to see is you're going to see them focus fire. And when enemy tanks present themselves to be shot, these guys tend to shoot the enemy tanks together. So M103 moving up, and there you go. Dead Like Me is also working this corner. He's going hull down using his turret armor. He's already bounced an AMX 5100. And as I say, focus fire.
Penetration.
Both shots. Both players put a shot into the M103. There's an AMX 5100 here, easily penned. And T32 puts a shot in, then the IS-3 puts a shot in. They're focus firing tanks. Now, Like the Way You Move is already on 1,000 damage. And he's firing regular AP, he's not firing premium. He's aiming at weak spots. They're trying to track enemy tanks as they come around the corner of the rocks. Always a very good habit to get into, because even if the enemy tanks use their repair kits, they're not as likely to poke the corner of the rocks again. But they're sensing a chance to break through here. T32's not looking this way. So beautiful shot into T32 by Like the Way You Move. But these tier 8s, they've dominated with some help. T90, what was that? That was a T95 moved up with them. So they've broken through. They've cleared out the tanks in the middle. Beautiful shot in the move on the WZ-131 by Like the Way You Move in the IS-3. And now this Object 140 on the enemy team. Tier 10 tank, and he's completely ignoring the minimap. Completely ignoring what's happening behind him. And that allows Like the Way You Move to get a nice rear shot. This is a guy who's tunnel visioned, not very good use of the minimap. Again, he's just been shot in the rear and he's not looking this way, which allows... Oh, very unfortunate bounce by Like the Way You Move. Needed to maybe rush that shot, needed to aim a little bit lower. But Object 140 is in a really bad position, still not looking at this IS-3. And that allows a nice lower Glacis shot, and Like the Way You Move is on 2.5k damage, he's on 2 kills, And as I say, I want to keep reminding you, they're tier 8s in a tier 10 game. So like the way you move has finally moved up, he's going to be focused on the tanks coming down the 1-2 lines. So while like the way you move goes up the hill, Dead Like Me notices the problem on the 1-2 lines. They're being flanked while his platoon mates goes up the hill to finish off the tanks up there. Dead Like Me is swinging around looking for shots on these tier 9s. Oh, there's a tier 10 down there, AMX-50B. And a beautiful shot to finish off an AMX-50B. So nice map awareness by Dead Like Me. He's already turning around. He's going to be going hull down on this corner. AMX 1375, Patton and a Waffentrager Panzer IV. Oh, rush that shot. But Dead Like Me is on 1800 damage already, most of that done on the tanks in the middle. And Patton manages to sneak a shot in, no idea. Oh, very, very good shot, just over the gun mantlet. Manages to pen the T32's turret. Again, because the T32 is angled downwards, this is a very, very good tank for going hull down, but at the moment, Dead Like Me is angled downwards. That means he's exposing more of the top of his turret, more of his turret roof. Patton was able to get a shot in there, blind shot on where the Patton or the AMX was. Dead Like Me's on a reload. Is he going to get the reload in time? He is. Gets a shot into the 1375, sets him on fire.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Takes him up to 2.4k damage. And we know there's still a Patton and a Waffentrager Panzer IV in the 1-2 lines. So Dead Like Me just poking forward, trying to get vision. Someone spots the Patton. And a snapshot. You can't really take snapshots. You absolutely have to let this gun aim in fully. Especially if you're sniping with it. But Patton's playing a dangerous game. Patton's playing a very dangerous game. Another unfortunate bounce, but as I say, or will say, oh, second engine fire. Finally, Dead Like Me gets some damage done. But Dead Like Me is using the final gun, 105 millimeters, 198 millimeters of penetration, and that can be lacking against higher tier tanks. So Patton's sitting side on, and a beautiful shot in, taking Dead Like Me up to 4.5k damage, and it looks like most of the threat on the 1-2 lines has now been taken care of. So with the threat on the 1-2 lines negated, Like the Way You Move has switched his focus over to the other flank. He's going to be working on the 9-0 lines, lots of enemy tanks here, super Pershing, and Like the Way You Move is still on standard AP, hasn't fired any premium yet, and he doesn't rush his shot. He waits for a side shot on the Super Pershing to make sure the shot goes in. This is a little bit dangerous, but the T-34 is not focused on him. Pokes the corner, T-34 is looking the other, well, was looking the other way. Snapshot, doesn't pay off. And Like the Way You Move is down to 2 shots of regular AP left. T-32 is moving forward, but exposes his hull, and again, nice shot through the hull. That could have bounced, but unfortunately, Like the Way You Move took a big hit in return. However, his reload is faster than the T-34's. He knows this, and he moves forward, so good knowledge of tank mechanics, knows that the T-34 reloads slower than he does, was able to get 2 shots in for the 1 shot the T-34 fired. Dangerous, but he decides to take the hit anyway. Moves out to secure the kill. So back on the 1-2 lines, Dead Like Me is focusing on some long-range shots on a Jagdpanzer E100. He switched to premium ammo. Jagdpanzer E100, tricky customer. And even though Dead Like Me has a Waffentrager Panzer IV below him on a one-hit kill, he's still focused on the Jagdpanzer E100. Bigger threat at this moment in time. He's on 3.7k damage, 4 kills, and now he sees an opportunity on this E100 in the middle. Did have shots, moves further forward, maybe to put himself into a little bit of cover from the Jagdpanzer. E100 is still camping spawn, but he's got the rear of this E100. Friendly E100's on low health, so he needs to make these shots count. Nice engine shots, damaging the engine, trying to set the E100 on fire. Unfortunately, E100 takes out his E100 rival. And now, basically, it's looking a little bit trickier. What is Like the Way You Move going to do here? Because he's on 260 hit points. He's got a E100 in front of him. He's the only tank over here, with the exception of a 140 who's now coming over. So rather than chasing down the E100, rather than giving away his tank, he moves back into cover. Oh, this is dangerous. This is very dangerous, but he gets a beautiful shot in. He is on premium now, but the only reason he's firing premium is he's run out of AP. Gets a nice shot into the E100, gets a little bit fortunate, E100 misses. But he waited for backup before trying to engage the E100 again. So now he needs to move, and as I say, there's still a Jagdpanzer E100 camping spawn. Maybe he's a little bit hesitant, but he moves up. Really surprised that shot went in at the angle the turret on the E100 was, but it may have gone into the turret ring. But E100's a one-hit kill, side of the turret, takes him out, and that leaves Like the Way You Move on 5,300 damage. As I say, tier 8, tier 10 game, 5 kills, just one tank left on the enemy team, the Jagdpanzer E100. He's taking fire from Dead Like Me on the island. So Jagdpanzer E100's back. Dead Like Me continuing to snipe. Even though he's firing premium ammo at distance, the Jagdpanzer E100's armor is just too good. He knows what he's doing. He's going for lower glacis shots. He's getting very, very unlucky. Shots are going high, hitting the superstructure. Even premium ammo is going to have problems with the superstructure. Finally gets a beautiful shot in, but it is now enemy team are rapidly running out of tanks. So in a 5v1 situation, all the tanks are moving in. Someone's going to have to take a hit. Like the Way You Move would rather the Object 140 takes the hit. Jagdpanzer E100 is obviously focused. He's going to shoot the first tank that comes up this ridge, or comes up the hill. I'm not quite sure if the Jagdpanzer E100 is fired. Oh, Jagdpanzer E100 is now fired. So these tanks can now close the distance. Object 140 ideally wants to get behind. Shot into the lower glacis by the Jagdpanzer E100, but this is dangerous. Jagdpanzer E100 will have reloaded. And whoa, what a lucky shot, or lucky bounce I should say. Tracks eat the shot of the Jagdpanzer E100, allowing Like the Way You Move to get one more shot in to finish up on over 6k damage. So a really nice game by Like the Way You Move. He picked up an ace tanker for that, not surprisingly. But what is surprising is maybe that he picked up a high caliber as well. Very impressive. 6k damage in an IS-3 is fantastic. Even more so when it's a tier 8 and a tier 10 game and he was bottom tier. So picking up a high caliber in the IS-3 is bottom tier. Very nice game. Like the Way You Move finished up with 1766. Big XP total. 6,000 damage done as I mentioned, and 5 kills. Dead Like Me had a very good game as well. 1400 XP, 4,000 damage done, 2 kills. Two big XP totals. The Object 140 on their team, and even the IS-8. They all had very good games. Touched on that recently in a recent video. The more hit points on the enemy team, the more damage there is to go around, the bigger the XP totals as a result. Two very good XP totals from two very good players. Like the Way You Move fired 23, hit 21, penned 18. As I say, impressive amount of damage. He damaged 10, destroyed 5, only did 182 assistance damage, and because he ran out of AP and had to fire some premium, he ended up making a profit of just 17,000 credits. Dead Like Me also picked up an ace tanker for his 1400 XP in the T32. Again, nice amount of damage done, and unfortunately his gun was letting him down a little bit. I didn't show you the full replay, but he fired 28 and only managed to hit 21. Of the 21 shots, he only managed to pen 11. He had a little bit more difficulty penning tanks, but with his 198 millimeters of penetration, had to resort to more premium ammo. As a result, he ended up making a loss of 7,000 credits, but still doesn't take away from a very good performance in a tier 8 tank. So I want to thank Dead Like Me and Like the Way You Move for those two replays, even though they were submitted by Nuspiava. I don't know if Nuspiava was actually playing one of those tanks and it was a different account, but yeah, those replays, I like them. I love seeing bottom tier tanks do well in games. Thought they were two very, very good examples. Hope you guys at home enjoyed watching them. I'll see you next time.